I don't think that Bill O'Reilly believes in what he says. I really don't think so. I think if you gave Anderson Cooper the mic, you gave Wolf Blitzer the mic, and you put no producer in their ear, and you tell them to carry this thing through, all of your knowledge, all of your skills, all of your will, and cover what is going on, they would do a better job. But I think with the producers, with the people, the network heads at the top, they're ruining these journalists. And I think the American people are not getting the truth all the time. And I'm not afraid to say that here on the air. I'm not afraid to say it. And there's nothing to lose by saying this on the air, because we know it's the truth. I mean, I thought, journalism in America was getting better. I really did. But these past few days, if I'm Don Lemon's professor, if I'm Chris Cuomo's professor, if I'm Anderson Cooper's professor, I'm disgusted by their actions. Same with Megyn Kelly. And same with so many others. Same with Bill O'Reilly. I'm disgusted by their actions. You have an obligation to the people. You have to do better. You have to stand up and know what's right. You didn't learn that in school, and you know it. You didn't learn that in school. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Let's move on. We don't talk about, we usually, I know some of you are surprised, we don't really talk about politics that much. We don't really talk about political news media that much. So for those of you who are surprised, I can totally understand. I know the show's taking a lot of different directions. You're saying, what in the world's going on? Don't worry. I know, it's been all over the place, but bear with me. I'm upset. I'm disappointed by what's going on. I really am. I hope, I really wish, and maybe, I think multiple journalists need to take a stand and go independent, because it's become a monopoly a little bit with news media. It really has. Just, it seems like they report, they're so redundant. Like, if you look at CNN, MSNBC, and Fox News, the three networks that were covering Ferguson all night, they were all pretty much saying the same thing. Nobody separated themselves. And that's why I think it's copy journal. It's like they all copied each other. It's just an easy cop-out, easy way to do it. I want a network who will take a stand, who will, do something a little bit different. I didn't see that. I thought it almost felt like all three networks were working together. It really did. I felt like the CNN producers, the Fox News producers, the MSNBC producers, it almost felt like they were all working together and giving us the news. Poor job. Poor job. I was really disappointed. I thought there were, again, I'm not going to completely, say that it was the worst I've ever seen. I mean, there were some good moments on all three networks. I did give them credit, but they could have definitely done better. They could have definitely done better. Okay, let's move on to the NFL. Wow. Okay. This was really interesting. Richard Sherman and Doug Baldwin of the Seattle Seahawks. They're fined. Marshawn Lynch was fined $100,000 last week for not talking to the media. Sorry, my bad. But Sherman and Baldwin were at the podium Tuesday. And they just completely roasted the NFL. They trolled the NFL, and they completely exposed the NFL. It was hilarious, and it was unbelievable. Talk about guys who really challenge status quo. That was really big by Sherman and Baldwin, talking about how, the NFL, they suspend players for DUIs, but yet again, their biggest sponsors are beer sponsors, Bud Light, for example. Or, talking about Marshawn Lynch, fining him for not talking to the media. So much that Sherman and Baldwin had to say. It was great. They NFL players, I wish they had Baldwin and Sherman's approach, because the league really needs to examine the way they've been handling themselves, especially Goodell. I think Goodell has just been dishonest and contradictory so many times. It's unfortunate for, a person like Marshawn Lynch, which I'm going to talk about the article right now, by Ed Sherman. Let me read the title, which to me, I didn't like at all. I wanted Ed Sherman to come on my show. He didn't come on. I asked him. He didn't come on. He couldn't come on today. I wanted to ask him about this article. Marshawn Lynch, Are You a Jerk? Yeah, by Ed Sherman. This was November... This is 2 days ago. This was November 24th, 2014, Monday. Let me read you the entire article. Well, apparently, Marshawn Lynch has his price. Rather than risk another $100,000 fine for not talking to the media, he made himself available after Sunday's game. In the process, the Seattle running back only moved up a few more notches on the jerk meter. As you can see below, he mocked the session by responding yeah to almost every question. And then this was Greg Bell, who's a Seattle sports writer. He said in a tweet, entirety of Marshawn Lynch's postgame interview in the Seahawks locker room, 50 words to answer 22 questions. Saves a fine, he put as a hashtag. So 50 words for 22 questions. I am not mad at Marshawn Lynch. And you're saying, what? You're a media guy. You like the media. You like sports media. You like reporters. You like it when the athletes talk to the media. Yes, I do. But I have to also be sensitive to others and recognize that others are not as talkative. Remember in the Super Bowl, Marshawn Lynch was very shy. He didn't want to talk to anybody. He told Deion Sanders, I just want to let my talking on the field. I want my performance on the field to do the talking. That's what he said on Media Day last year in the Super Bowl. I thought that was very, honest and very respectful. I think Marshawn Lynch has been very respectful to the media. I think at times he doesn't like to be talking to the media because the media does label him, and there is a double standard against Lynch. I know Lynch may not be a Nobel Peace Prize winner, but he has conducted himself as of late in a very good way. He's not, been into trouble. I know he has in the past, but recently he's done a good job keeping himself clean. He's working hard on the field, and he's inspiring his teammates on the field. So I don't see there to be a problem with Lynch at all. I don't know why people like Ed Sherman need to just go on a rip and just go on a rant about how Marshawn Lynch is a jerk, which in my opinion I think is completely improper and indecent by Ed Sherman to say that. I think Lynch, again, he's not a model citizen, but he has done a good job, okay, as of late. And it's a double standard. We talk about it again. In media, there is a double standard. I heard a Chicago Bears sports writer talk about this. It's unbelievable how Randy Moss was portrayed as some horrible man, Randy Moss, correct? And then Brett Favre is treated as this unbelievable human being. They both made mistakes. They both did bad things in society. Don't let me get into what Brett Favre did, okay? I'm really upset by Brett Favre. Alright? Randy Moss has done less than what Brett Favre has done, but Brett Favre is treated like God, and Randy Moss is treated like a devil. I have no idea why. It's a double standard. To me, we associate people of color as barbarians. And I know all of you racist bigots can't handle me saying that. You can't handle the truth, okay? But you know, and I'm going to repeat it, and I don't care, and some of you I don't think liked how on Twitter I just voiced off about what I thought about people who are racist and people who do not understand systematic racism. I know a lot of people didn't like it, but I don't care what you have to say about me really speaking the truth. You're trying to censor me for not speaking the truth, which I hate, okay? So I'm going to continue to do it and continue to say those things. If you don't like it, change the channel or don't follow me on Twitter. I just wanted to say that to get that out there because I don't think a lot of people like what I have to say on Twitter. And you know what? That's okay. That's okay. I can go ahead and say what I want to say and call out people who are racist because those people need to get called out, to be honest with you. Because as a nation, we've become mediocre. In everything we do, we've become mediocre. And that's what it has to do with the Marshawn Lynch thing, with all these double standards. We've become mediocre. We've, allowed people to have a pass and and then we grill the other person. It's ridiculous. Let's treat people the same way. Let's recognize everyone's talents and let's, again, treat people equally, which we don't do. Even in sports media, we don't do. It's all about performance. And the way I am so devastated by the way we treated Randy Moss, and I'm so devastated by the way we've treated Marshawn Lynch, devastated the way we've treated Michael Vick, okay? Michael Vick paid his debt to society. People do change. Let's remember that, okay? I don't agree with what Michael Vick did. But he did pay his debt to society, and he did change as a human being. So let's not hide behind that. Or try to avoid talking about that here on Beyond the Box Score. Okay? And the double standards in sports media, the double standards in political news media need to end. Because how can we call ourselves the best at journalism in America? We always call ourselves the best in journalism. How can we call ourselves that when we resort to this nonsense? We can't call ourselves great journalists. We can't, say that journalism in America is top notch if we continue to do this. I can't believe it. I feel bad for Marshawn Lynch. And I'm going to invite Ed Sherman on the show. We're going to talk about it one-on-one. Because I think his stance is beyond ridiculous. And I'm not afraid of telling him that. I'm surprised he didn't come on the show. We'll get him on, though, next week. I'll try to. Okay? Because, again, I really feel like they have something against... I feel like some media members, they have something against Marshawn Lynch. I don't know why. He is not a jerk. Okay? Just because of his tattoos, just because of what he looks like, doesn't make him a jerk or a subhuman. Okay? And the media is treating him like subhuman. Alright. Let's move on. It's going to be the last topic of the day. Thanksgiving football.